start again then. Here we go. Thanks
All
for
right.
coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Today is finally the day.
Mm-hmm.
I know I thought about it. I was like, maybe I should try to bring her on sooner. I don't want to lose this one. You know?
But it's October, so the timing is divine.
It's spooky season.
Yes,
I
it
know.
is. Mm-hmm.
I know. I thought about that. I would stepped outside, to wait for you to come over and see the leaves changing.
Yes.
Now, why is that? Well, first, tell me exactly who you are, what you do.
Yeah, I'm Amanda Vanier. I am a psychic medium, tarot reader. I help individuals also work through somatic healing in their journey. I do a lot of things. Certified Death-doula, spiritual coach.
What is somatic healing? What is Death-doula?
Yeah, so somatic healing is working through the nervous system and using different exercises and techniques to help with carrying the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual traumas that we've had in this lifetime, but also in past lifetimes as well, too, because we're all born with residual energies and traumas from past lives as well. So I help with working through what the body is carrying. Notice how many of us have issues with our shoulders, issues with our back, issues with our hips. A lot of that is trauma that has been carried not only in this lifetime, but past lifetimes. So it's very personalized how I present it because everyone has different experiences and different needs. So that's a little bit of what the somatic healing is.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it because I 100% believe in this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and then what's dual death healing?
So Death-doula, I actually
Death-doula.
recently went through the certification process last year for it. Because as I mentioned, I do mediumship work, but this is helping somebody that is going through the transition process and their family unit. So it could be, in a sense, finding different care and support for the family, helping the family going through the grieving process, setting a vigil for the individual that's going through the transition. Or you can sit there and provide different activities and support for them as they're going through it. So maybe it's just, holding their hand and having gentle music. It can be legacy, right? Kind of going through items and where do they want this to go, or how do they want this item or object to be celebrated for their life. So that's also very versatile.
So you're saying if someone passes away, like say I have a family member pass away, you help me guide through is that the transition process that you're talking about?
That's part of it. Yeah.
And what items? Are you saying that an item holds a type of, what do you mean by that?
So it could be maybe, for example, if they have a certain doll from childhood, right? And they want that as part of their vigil or an offering.
Whose vigil? Like the one who passed away?
The one who's passing away. So it's helping the dying go through the death process, but you're also supporting the family. So essentially it's a death doula. I don't know if that makes sense.
No.
I understand. I know, because it's becoming a more expansive, I guess, offering and support. So basically, you're helping the transition from a non-clinical perspective, and you're helping the family as well go through this transition from a non-clinical. So vigil, it could be sitting there and again, just sitting in silence, kind of supporting their transition. Maybe it's setting prayers, maybe it's setting intentions. I mentioned that object before. Maybe they just want to see that object at the end of their bed as a reminder, as a symbol of their life.
Where does this come from then? Maybe that'll help me out. Because this sounds somewhat Egyptian. Someone's getting buried. An Egyptian pharaoh wants to be buried with these items around them to take into the afterlife with them.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of sounds like.
Yeah.
So,
think about it. It's traditions that have been passed down.
I have a lot of thoughts on what the Egyptians do. There's a weird theory on the Egyptians that I like. I don't know.
Hear it.
All right. There's this individual. His name was, and this is where I got it from.
Yeah.
His name was Prawn Star. Okay.
Okay.
And he came out with this theory that the Egyptian pharaohs never died. Okay. And he ends up going to jail for 4 years.
Okay.
I don't know what he ends up going to jail for. But he gets out and he starts to continue to push through his theory on this, that if you look in every major city around the world, especially in the United States, there's Egyptian symbology and everything, the obelisk, the way that we build our city, the infrastructure, everything has to do with it, that these spirits have never actually died. They just passed into, a lot of them say, the politicians that we have today.
Wow.
Do you know?
That is so interesting. I have not heard of that theory before.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I have something to think about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an odd one. I don't know. But he was dead set on it, and all of a sudden he disappears, goes to jail. I don't know if they tried to silence him or anything like that. It's just a crazy conspiracy
Mhm.
theory. But I liked it because he backed it up with a lot of
Wow.
what could be facts. I don't know. Why are
Absolutely.
the Egyptian symbolism everywhere? Why is it?
I mean, they are. Look at cats. I mean,
They love
cats are a
cats.
huge symbolism and they're everywhere. I mean, it's not just like a witchy thing, but it's like the cats are all about, in a sense, the protectors.
Yeah.
So,
Where does this death doula come from, though?
this is actually something that has come about with really in the past 5 to 10 years. So I don't know necessarily as far as like the
The history.
lineage goes on that. It's more of a newer concept that has come through in the past 10 years. I feel like a lot of it comes through the process of death and dying. And it's almost like that philosophy, if you've ever taken a philosophy class on
Yes.
death and dying. I feel like this is just an additional support because there's really not a lot of end of life care for those that are going through this process on a non-clinical, non-medical line, so to speak.
I think I'd be a little suspicious if there was.
Mm-hmm.
Someone would be trying to make money off of, what we're going to do in the afterlife, though.
Yeah,
So,
I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like life insurance for the afterlife. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's what it kind of
Yeah.
sounds like. I'm not, but now, where, like, do you have a thought on where we go in the afterlife? Or is there an afterlife in your mind?
There is.
Okay, what is it?
So for me, and this is more connected to my belief of past lives, because we can have up to 10,000 past lives and different experiences. So when we transition and go back into the spirit world, I believe that we have the opportunity to come back again, or we have the opportunity to stay a soul or a spirit on the other side. And have you heard of soul contracts, like in our spirit team and all of that? Because what it is we have soul contracts. So we are here for a mission, a purpose, whether it's to be in that light or to be in those shadows and go through some really hard times, right? And kind of conquer them. We have a soul contract. So we have a spirit team that gets together, and this can be angels, this can be departed loved ones, this can be ancestors, right? Anybody that's on that spirit team, they come together and they say, okay, this is this soul's mission. We have to accept the mission. Tell me why some of us keep coming back, because I've heard that a lot this year. Why am I back here again? I can't believe I've been through this cycle again and again and again. But in a sense, it's to have full completion.
Is it because I did not accept it?
Exactly that. And we didn't necessarily in those past lives have those opportunities to learn the lessons, or it was cut short. Can I give you an example?
Please.
Because I always had this interest as a kid of like being in the water and swimming. But every time I was in the water, I had this fear of drowning. Never knew where it came from. And as I got older, the fear manifested more. Didn't want to go into the ocean, love the ocean, like to look at it. But as far as going swimming, I don't swim anymore. This one day, I am laying in bed. This was recent. This was like maybe a year or two ago. And I'm laying down, and all of a sudden, I'm having this vision of me going down on the Titanic. And I'm like, what the heck? And I thought at first maybe I'm dreaming, but I could see the iceberg. I could taste the water in my throat. And I'm going, okay, what is this? Then I hear my present day name. I hear Amanda, and I'm like, yeah. Then I hear Anna Amelia, and I shot up out of bed and I go, Anna Amelia? My husband looks at me and goes, what's wrong? I said, nothing. Go back to bed,
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, who's Anna Amelia? It's sitting on my brain. I'm like, I need to find the registry of like, who was on the ship?
100%.
Anna Amelia Layton was a second-class passenger who passed away on the Titanic. Wouldn't leave her husband, had the opportunity, chose to stay with her husband. Also had a child that died 2 months prior to the Titanic sinking. And it's very interesting because in this lifetime, I knew I would probably make the same decision. And this is kind of personal, but it's interesting. I always felt like I had children in a past life, but my intention in this life, I'm not doing that and making that choice. She had a daughter.
Now, you got lucky, though. because you got a history of maybe what your past life was. So if you're trying to see what is an answer to your soul contract, maybe you can do a little digging on who this person was and see what she was trying to find out. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. And she passed away early. She was only 34. I, as a child, had a fear of passing away young. There's a lot of crossovers that when I saw that vision, I went, it all makes sense now. The fear of water, the fear of passing away young. I saw a picture of her. You see how big my eyes are? Her eyes were big too. And I showed my husband the photo. He goes, oh my God, those are your eyes. Like, he was freaked out.
Ooh, do you know any other examples of where you could find, if you could actually find a history of like your past life and then see, you think it would be the eyes would be the one that pass on? You know what I mean? I guess other physical features, but I feel like the eyes of any other body part would definitely be the one if you're seeing everything through this. If they are your lens.
And they were big too. And I'm like, oh, that's wild.
Eyes.
I'll show you a picture. I'll have to find it later.
Do. Yeah. Because when I hear soul contract, I hear a little bit, I think scarier. I think like a rock star selling off his soul to the devil for fortune and fame. You know?
But that can be somebody's soul contract in that way. That's the shadow.
It's almost unfair. Because so you're saying there's a soul contract that I possibly might have made, or that somebody made for me that I'm supposed to just try to figure out, how I'm supposed to fulfill this contract.
It is, and it's different lessons. Some of it's lighter and some of it's dark. Can I use the word shit on here? Is that okay?
You can curse.
Okay.
Curse a lot on it. Yeah.
I was going to say some of it's dark, heavy shit too. It's not light and easy. I mean, I'm going to share this with you if it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm a survivor of sexual trauma. And I used to think, what did I do to have to go through this with a partner? And it was not an easy time in my life. It was very heavy. I felt so lost, And I'm like, but I'm a nice person. I'm kind. I love everyone. I have a big heart. Why would that be part of my contract? And it might sound even a little cheesy, but I feel like if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't know what a healthy relationship is now that I have.
Well, it makes, okay. So if I compare it to myself.
Oh, yeah.
I've had addiction issues my entire life, right? And there's been times where I'm like, God, why am I having to go through this again? Why am I having to go through this again? But I shared on the last one that I filmed, last podcast I filmed, this is the happiest Frank that I've ever been. It is like this lightness that I can feel, this calm, and it guided me towards what I consider like, because you mentioned prayer, I'll mention it, like towards like a higher power, towards a good source energy that I think I've been searching for this whole time. And now it's also, I feel like I've removed these cravings for other things in life that I thought I needed to desire that I don't really desire anymore. So, I guess I had to continue to go through it. Because weirdly enough, I even said my last relapse was the greatest one I ever had. Like, it was a positive one. Like, I know that sounds, people are like, what do you mean your relapse is a good one? It's like, no, I think it took me out of this path that I was going down, even though I thought it was a good one. I thought it was a good one. And then it led me to here. I went, oh, but this one feels really nice. Can I stay here? So I don't know what my soul contract would be then.
Can I offer something? Because as I'm looking at you, I keep hearing like at that point you were the student and now you're here as the teacher to kind of convey your experience. That's what I keep hearing. It was almost like the role of the student leaning into this role of a teacher.
I hope I never become the teacher.
No, but like in the sense of like you're teaching other people like the healing process.
Okay, that's
the
fair.
Overcoming. That's how I'm hearing it come through for you. It's like how to overcome and you're teaching other people, kind of like extending the hand like, here, I can show you.
That's a great way to say it.
Partially, I don't want to say partially. I feel like that's why you're here.
Well, now what I do, and even because I think I mentioned before, I had like these years of sobriety that I had given up. And in those years of sobriety, I was 100%, I was so selfish. I was it was everything was me. I wanted to do this to greater myself. And then I wasn't caring so much about other, I think I wasn't a bad person or anything, but now in this, transition, I have been, I've been, if you know anything about Alcoholics Anonymous, I sponsor people now, right? So it's like now I'm guiding other people and now I can be, so I go and I speak at a rehab. Or, I go to a halfway house and I bring these people out of it and I take, like I brought some people on the ghost tour that were from the halfway house, and I get to guide them through this process. So maybe it is somewhat of a teacher, but at the same time, I have my teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I consider that a higher power plus somebody else in my life, like a sponsor.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
is that. So I'll never. Maybe I can teach now as well. So I am, but
yeah,
I still have my teachers and mentors and things like that.
absolutely.
Where I think last time I didn't want to have a teacher. I didn't want to have a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
It was just me, and I thought I was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized I need to be knocked down a few pegs.
Yeah.
So, which is fantastic. I love that. I hate that it happened, but I love that it happened.
But it's
Yeah.
true. Teachers need teachers. Healers need healers. Therapists need therapists. Like, we
Yeah.
all need one another for that support and that unity. So I think that's really beautiful. Like you said, you can be that role to guide, and then you also have your teachers too. So
Yeah.
it's that really passing on. It's really beautiful.
Now I see some of the witchcraft stuff that you do.
Yes.
Now, what is, because when people hear witches, most will think not a good thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I've heard the other side. I've talked to other people that it is, they're just energy workers possibly. And there is definitely a darkness, and there's also a light, that there's good witches and bad witches. There's, Elphaba. And what's the other one from Wicked?
Galinda.
Yeah. So there's the good witch and the bad witch.
Mm-hmm.
But the bad witch doesn't even seem that bad in Wicked, right?
No, not at all.
So explain to me what witches are then.
I love that. And you know what? It's interesting really quickly, too. There are so many school of thoughts on what witches are, witchery. At the end of the day, it's all about supporting our community. It's about finding unity, finding peace in our individual selves and purpose, and then bringing that to the higher collective. So there are different, I like to say it's almost like different wheelhouses of witchery. And maybe you've heard this now, like there's crystal witches, or there's eclectic witches where they dabble in plant medicine, or they dabble in meditative practices. I feel like in a sense you can't really put a container or a label on what a witch is, because to me it's all about your intentions. So some witches do identify as light workers, right? Or they identify as angel mediums, right? I think it all really depends on the own belief that you have, not necessarily a collective belief. But at the end of the day, we're all here to help one another, here to help support each other. Can I ask you, this is so strange. Did you have a grandfather that passed?
Both have passed.
Okay. Because I literally see like energy behind you that's like a grandfather energy, and then something with like a flag.
So you want to?
I hope that's okay to share. I just got really distracted.
I love that stuff.
Okay.
I have a feeling that you might see a little bit more around me too, because I do think there is attachments that I still need to deal with.
Yeah.
But so if you listen to, you said you listened to the Emma one, when the one story that I tell how right before I had relapsed after 4 years, the one entity that was following me around, I called the woman in Florida.
That I remember.
And I called her, and she said, when she answered the phone, I gave her a little bit of the backstory, what was going on. This entity has now gotten closer. It's next to my bed. And she said, it's your grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what does that mean? I don't know, because both my grandfathers were very good men.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's more of a form of protection, like they're guarding you. I don't think it's anything necessarily negative, or they come around you in a sense when, remember before we were kind of talking about like these spiritual warnings that your spirit team gives you before an experience happens or a relapse. That's how I interpret it.
The thing is, I've been trying to figure it out. Not really. I don't put too much thought into it because I don't know how to. It's not like a math equation. If I just put these two numbers together, I'll get an answer. It's which grandfather? Is it my grandfather, great-grandfather, great-great-great-grandfather? You know what I mean?
I don't know, but somebody's giving you what looks like Werther's butterscotch. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it's almost like those Werther butterscotch candies is what I see around you. So I don't know if you
see Werther's butterscotch?
Yeah. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Well, that could be more than my father's. That would be more like my father's side then.
Okay, so if you understand that.
My grandmother she would always have those candies.
Okay.
So, okay. Anything else you see? You can touch on that.
As you were talking, I'm like, why has he got like these Werther's butterscotch? But see, that to me is part of the evidential mediumship too, where they give signs of something that they either enjoyed on this lifetime. Sometimes they'll give a birthday, an occupation. They'll give a symbol like the butterscotch that just came through. So little things like that. So to me, that's the bridge of you asked what grandfather it is. They showed me this. You see the connection.
I thought it was the other grandfather. Truly.
Yeah,
I did.
I get it.
I thought it was my mother's father.
And it's not to say that it isn't, because there is something that is called overlapping. I'm not sure if you've heard about that. So overlapping is when you have multiple spirits that have passed away in your ancestor line, and it could be mother, father side. And what happens is they come through as a collective message. So I could say something like, I'm just going to use the example of the butterscotch again. You could be like, oh, but both sides had that.
Mm-hmm.
That's an overlapping message. That's just meaning that they're both supporting you. When you have something a little bit more specific like that, and you said, oh, that's this side, that grandmother had it, then you kind of know that's the identifying line that we're talking about.
So why do I then, why when I'm seeing these entities that I mentioned on the other one, you're saying I should more heed it as a warning, not so much it's them causing it? As a warning to the relapse more than them causing it, you know what I mean?
Oh, you're saying like, is it a causation of the relapse?
Because it's scary. Like there is it scares me a little bit, right?
Yeah, but also think too, your spirit team might show you the shadows as that's a warning that there might be a situation that's coming soon that could, again, person, emotional wave, a place that kind of reminds you of it, right? Maybe there's something that traumatic comes up for you. They're kind of saying, hey, this might be a warning of you might experience this. So how are you going to maybe acknowledge, oh shit, there's an emotional wave happening, rather than going this direction, I'm going to use maybe this direction, or like reach out to your teacher or something of that nature. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm going to give you another example. Ever since COVID, my immunity's been crap. Every time I'm going to get sick, I have a warning. 2021, my husband and I, we go to HorrorCon, right? And we're running around, we're meeting like all these people. It's a great time. And we stayed in a hotel, it was like the seedy hotel in Seaside. And we walked in, and all of a sudden I just said to him, I'm going to have COVID. Like, I just felt it. It was just like this weird, heavy energy. I felt really overwhelmed. And he goes, what are you talking about? 2 weeks later, Thanksgiving, had COVID. I said, okay. This past holiday, I'm laying in bed and I heard in my ear, oh, you haven't had the stomach bug since 2020, or excuse me, since 2011. And I'm like, okay. And that freaked me out. Like, I felt icky and I heard it.
See, this is where I think more like that could be cellular, and I think that there's just so much in our body that our body can communicate with us so much more than we allow it to, right? So if there's like cellular regeneration where our body can regenerate, just by the thought of I need to heal this wound. Yeah. I think it can communicate with us. Like our cells can speak to us in a way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is it. Is that, are you trying to say like this is kind of tying to like your gifts, or do you like being a medium or being into this? Or?
But I feel like we all have it. We all have some sort of psychic ability or some type of intuition that gives us, The only difference with mediums is they speak to the dead. There's a difference between psychics and mediums.
Explain that.
Yeah. Oh, I would love to. One of my favorite topics.
Oh, cool.
We all have psychic abilities. We all have intuition. We all get hits. We get that pit of the feeling that we maybe know something's wrong, or we think about a person, right? And then all of a sudden they call and we haven't heard from them a month, right? With psychics, so all mediums are psychics, but not all psychics are mediums. So what I mean by that is mediums specifically have extrasensory information where they speak to the dead and they have spiritual hits from those who have passed on. Psychics, right, that are not mediums don't speak to the dead. So they have an ingrained gift of intuition. So they might say, oh, you have a career change coming up and I see like dollar bills, right? Or I see, oh, you are a teacher and you work with individuals. But they might not necessarily be speaking to the departed.
All mediums are psychics, you're saying?
Yes. But not all psychics are mediums. There's a difference.
I think of people when they hear psychic that they say past, future. I can, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if I believe I'm a medium and I see these spirits and whatnot, I'm a psychic too.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It is tough because you have to think too, we are all born with a gift.
Mm-hmm.
As we get older, we come from, the spirit world and we're pure, right? We don't have a lot of experiences. Everything's new. It's fresh. As we get older, I call it the energetic trash can. As we get older, let's say our parents divorce at a young age, put it in the trash can, right? We get bullied at school. That goes in our trash can, right? We get older and let's say we are, we experience drugs or alcohol, put it in the trash can. We have a violent breakup. It goes in the trash can.
And what is this trash can doing? Is it blocking our gifts?
Exactly that. So it can piles and piles until one day, let's say there's a little hassle, you're late for work and the energetic trash can spills all over the place, right? It's essentially all of our traumas blocking our gifts because we're carrying. That goes back to the somatic healing.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to see if, I'm seeing everything on this 3D level and I'm experiencing anxiety and pain. So how can we really connect with spirit when we're constantly blocked?
Do you believe that we're being blocked on purpose? Like someone, do you know, like the blocking of like the pineal gland?
Mm-hmm.
Like the calcifying of it?
Oh, absolutely.
Like where they said the conspiracy of fluoride and such, or just even these phones.
That I believe 100%.
Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, things like that are just blocking these abilities that we have because it's just creating a chaos. So now we can't access it.
EMF radiation is a real thing and it cannot block us from receiving on a spiritual level, even on a human level. So many of us are walking around almost like zombies, if you've noticed this year, or like being able to receive a message. I'm seeing that like communication, interpersonal skills are being impacted. So I absolutely believe, not to be funny, I could say, hey, can I get a black iced coffee? And they're like, oh, okay. Do you want cream in that? Right? So it's like our communication receptors are so blocked even on kind of a foundational level right
they're
now.
Flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that I notice it more in, like my nieces and nephews, like teenagers, things like that, where they don't really know how to communicate these days. Mm-hmm. Or they do, but they only know how to communicate through here, not in person. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's where I think there's a blockage of spirituality too then.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Because we need to communicate with whatever our spirit is first before I think we can start to have healthy conversations with other people. Yes. And that's tough.
Because we're managing all these experiences on the 3D level. So if we have to go, in a sense, go to ascend and go higher, it's hard to receive those messages. This is probably the most common theme I've heard for 2025. Like there's no time or space for spirituality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this is a huge problem that we have these days is that we have gotten away from, like, whether or not you're a religious human being or anything like that, let's go back 100 years. Let's go back 2,000 years. People had this moral compass that there was a power greater than themselves, and they kind of lived by it, even though they couldn't taste it, touch it, feel it, see it. Mm-hmm. And we have become so material with it, and it's bringing us so much sadness and depression. Where if you start to get back to this spirituality, like that's where I feel like this is the happiest Frank I am, because I've given up a lot of what I thought was going to make me happy, and it didn't. And now it's this the spirituality that I have now that I would like to just grow and grow and grow and grow. And I don't have as much fear. I don't have as much sadness in my life at the moment. It's really nice.
Is it okay to say you're very grounded too? I feel like grounded and like flow.
Yeah.
As I look at you, I'm like, oh. Like,
I try to be.
Yeah.
I stay in certain routines and disciplines that I think help with that as well.
Yeah.
And that's something I think we've gone away from too. Is,
yes.
We don't really have as much of that, But, I mean, I can only speak for myself in that I can, or at least of what I observe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I do want to touch more on the witches, though. If we get back, when I think of witches, and if we look at Hollywood, why are the witches that are mainly portrayed the ones that steal kids' energy? Like a hocus pocus,
right?
Or the witches that have a coven that are a little bit dark, like the movie The Witch. It seems like Hollywood likes to portray more of the darkness. You don't get many of the happy witches.
They do. And, you see, as you said in the movies, like they have like the green makeup on or they have the warts on the nose, right? And it's portrayed as this like very scary. And you think about it too, it almost like back in like the 16th century, for example, with Salem witch trials
We
and
could
all
touch
of
on
that,
yeah.
it's all in a sense like this taboo. And there's no harm here, right? Do no harm. Um, I feel like we've been very much misrepresented in the Hollyworld, or Hollyworld, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
You know what I
it
mean.
is.
Yeah, it's Hollyworld, but in that grand scheme of things, because it's all about intentions. Like witchcraft is an intention. Witchcraft is not sending negative, dark energy to people. Witchcraft could be like, okay, we're going to go to the kitchen and we're going to create maybe like some bread, for example. That's called kitchen witchery, right? We could go in the back and, create sachets with different plants that you have back there. It's plant medicine.
Because it's like a what is that word called when you take two metals to make another metal?
Oh.
What is that called when you take like a man? Why can I not think
Yeah, I can't think right now either. I'm like
the alchemist, like an alchemist.
Oh, alchemy.
That
Yeah.
just sounds like alchemy to me. So you're saying like a chef is alchemist?
Well, yeah, because
I
they're
guess.
creating. I know. But it's also about intention. Not everyone that's, creating either is going to say, oh, I'm a witch because I made bread, right? But it's an example of that. It's example of that practice.
So what witch would you consider yourself?
I would say I'm a crystal witch because I work with crystals. That's like really one of my deep, I guess, connections with the earth. When we think of crystals too, it's not just a pretty rock, right? So many times people will say, oh, it's just a rock or it's just this. But think about it, that rock, where is it plucked? It's plucked from the Earth's grid. What is that crystal holding? It's holding the frequencies of the Earth plane from a specific space in that world as well, too. So you have these vibrational frequencies in your hand. And I love working with them because especially when we are going through somatic healing, I use that as a tool to help remove the blockages utilizing the Earth's vibrational frequency. So I do connect a lot with the crystal energy. Also do consider myself a light worker as well too. So
crystals can be proven.
Yes.
We use them in our phones.
Mm-hmm.
We use them as, a source of energy, right?
Yep.
That can be proven by science. I think that's like, if there's any non-believers out there, I think that's one thing. But what I want to know when it comes to crystals is like, all right, there's many different kinds, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know which crystal to use if you're going to be trying to heal someone with it or try to heal yourself? Do you just reach for it and go, this is what I'm supposed to have reached for today?
That's a great question. So a couple different broaches on that. I always tell individuals who have come into my space, if they're looking for a certain crystal, trust your intuition. I'm like, just see where you're drawn. For some people, it's the tactile. They'll feel a huge vibrational pull. I've seen the opposites actually happen to my husband. He'll touch something. It feels like it's on fire. He goes, that's not for me. So it can be a tactile connection. It can also be a visual connection as well, too. So visually being drawn. Now, usually what happens is I will say, okay, this is what you chose. I tell them the metaphysical healing properties behind it. I've seen, I would say, probably 90% of the time, they're like, that's exactly what I need. When I'm working with someone, it's the same thing. If I know we're working through, let's say, some generational trauma, or we're helping break limiting beliefs and cycles that have been passed on from childhood and their generations, I'm going to reach for a petrified wood. I know that just because that is one of the stones that we use to help with breaking generational trauma.
See, that's one thing that I think human beings want to be told what to do a lot of the time.
They do.
Instead of just allowing yourself to tell yourself.
Exactly. And that's the same thing with tarot.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me too, because that one's very woo-woo, right?
I understand.
Yeah. and like I've had a tarot reading done to me. I've had, girlfriends that have been like, I do tarot, and I go, all right, let's do a tarot reading. And but then I've never done one with someone where they can say, I'm specialized in tarot. I've always kind of stayed away from psychics.
Yeah,
In a way,
I get it. Yeah, I understand. I'm going to say it in this way. I've met some people before that I'm like, oh, their energy. I'm like, it's all about energy. And I'm like, I don't want them reading me because something feels off.
Well,
and I think that's the biggest thing. It's like your intuition's going to know if you feel safe and comfortable with somebody and they are very transparent. That is so important. As a psychic, as a medium, when people come and they sit with me, I give them mediumship education before we even sit down and do the reading because it's important to know what could happen, what to I'm getting really passionate now because this is a big topic for me. It's important to know, like I explained, this is what evidential mediumship is. And as I had said before, I will say, they might step through with an object that they had, a birth date, a name, something that they enjoyed to do. So they understand that. I'm very transparent too, that like spirits choose us to communicate. So there might be some spirits that come to me that I'm meant to share with you where you might sit down with somebody else and this other one comes through for them, right? We're not we're not choosing who we're pulling in to talk to. They're showing us, we deliver the message, and you're the decoder of that. I've had some individuals say, but okay, so why didn't they come through? Well, we can't choose, right? They choose us if they want to come through. But it's also, they might have a message that doesn't need to be shared right now. Some spirits choose not to come through. I've had somebody say to me, oh, yeah, this deceased loved one doesn't come through. Turns out, oh, they didn't believe in this type of work when they were here Earthside. That could be a reason.
That's what scared me. It's like if somebody's just going to read these tarot cards, like what is their source energy? I know I keep saying that because I feel like this is okay with this topic, but what is their source energy that they're laying down these cards and trying to tell me what?
And that's the thing. I can only speak for myself because I don't know what it is for other individuals. For me, I'm very much connected to the angelic realm. I love working with the angels. That is a very big part of my source energy. And I'm very much white and golden light is how I connect with, which is also connected to the 7 rays in the Archangel, like 7 layers of golden light.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so there's all different layers of light for each Archangel. So for example,
and then number 7.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll just talk a little bit briefly. So for example, if we are connecting with Archangel Raphael, his energy... His energy.
He is the only true archangel, isn't he?
Well, I mean, I feel like there's 4 watchtower archangels. That's how my belief.
Okay.
So I believe in the north node, the south node, the east node, and the west node.
Where is he?
So he would be the east node.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So you've got Uriel. So that's going to be our the node at the north. Then you've got Michael, who is at the south. I feel like you have a connection with Michael too.
That's fucking nuts. So he was supposed to be my confirmation name. And I have this statue of St. Michael the Archangel, but I'm Francis Lyons IV, and my father's confirmation name was John, and so was his grandfather's. So I ended up choosing John as well. So Michael was the one that, that could have been all the way back in childhood saying, this is one I was supposed to choose. But I still say the prayer of St. Michael, and I have his statue.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. That's awesome you said that.
Yeah, I was like, I could see that sword energy, the blue sword for you. Yeah. Then you've got Archangel Raphael. So that's going to be about healing, love, and joy on the east node. And then you have Archangel Gabriel, which is the west node. And that's going to be more about like endurance, emotional balance. So they each vibrate on a different frequency, a different color.
Now, would this have to do with the Watchers?
Ooh, yeah, well, they're considered watchtower angels. So they're the ones that watch us. Yeah, those are the main 4.
And do they conduct the 300 Watchers that came down through the Bible?
Yes.
The ones that possibly even integrated with us, had children with us?
100%.
So do they all get, 80 of them? Is that what it is?
That's interesting. I've never had anyone ask that question.
Because, I mean, that's in the Bible.
It is.
That's not even like a conspiracy, but people love
Yeah.
to put their own little twist on who the Watchers actually are and why they were sent here and who sent them.
So I believe definitely the 4 watchtower angels. Can I add one more thing to that?
Yeah.
Archangel Metatron. I don't know if you're familiar.
Never heard of that.
Really?
No, that sounds like he's out of Transformers.
Yeah, I know.
It's like Archangel Megatron.
Yeah, Metatron.
Yeah.
He's actually one like level in a sense in the hierarchy of the archangels above Michael. So he's known as the facilitator. So remember before how I was talking about like past life and like accessing information? There's the belief that he is that facilitator, that we have that information. It's also spiritual wisdom. Like before how you said, well, listening to the messages inside of us, he kind of helps facilitate that. Yeah.
So there is just a whole core of and chain of command
There is.
within this.
Yes.
So
Cherubim, seraphims, there's all different levels. Dominions.
Those have been in artwork forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the Renaissance, especially, was when they really started painting these figures and coming out. I mean, some of them even have UFOs and things like that. So where would those come from? But
not to be weird, do you like dinosaurs?
Shut up.
Like you have like a stegosaurus in the behind you. People are gonna watch this and be like, "What's going on?"
No, this is good. This is good. She's real, people. Because I love dinosaurs. I had binders and binders full of dinosaurs when I was younger. They were my thing.
Okay, cool.
Still like them. I'm a big fan of Jurassic. Jurassic Park is probably my favorite science fiction movie of all time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I got a few other science fictions that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
That's cool.
Signs.
Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Filmed right here in Newtown.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That I did not know.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan films all his stuff within the Philadelphia area.
I am, one of my favorites is Split.
Split is so good. Split is so good. Now, if you want to talk about like what's going on with those guys.
Yeah.
Especially the main character.
Oh my goodness.
I think that's going to be some weird like bipolarity and psychic breaks and all that. I think could also weirdly have a demonic possession type thing in there. But
yeah, I could see that.
We're veering off before because I will continue talking about like. But, I mean, how do we
bring me back?
Yeah, we have to bring each other back because now we can go on tangents all day on this.
For sure.
How do we go from spiritual?
We were talking about witches, and then it just kind of transitioned.
No. You said you have the gold and white light around you.
Oh, yes.
And then you mentioned angels that you try to sort. That's your kind of your source energy?
That's my source energy, yeah.
Is to these angels. And how do you get chosen to do that?
Honestly, for me, it's a feeling. It's just this connection that I feel with them. I don't know necessarily about being chosen, but I feel like it's my path. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's more of a feeling for me.
I've said this before.
Yeah.
I don't choose my guest. Right?
Yeah.
I think something else chooses my guest and then I can reach out to them. So I did not expect you to be saying this when you came on here, talking about that your source energy is an angel, is angels, whatever they are. So grateful that, we're doing this here. But now when do you feel like you got this source energy? Like when did you say, oh, I am this?
Well, can I share my first experience? Because I think that's really where it happened for me. I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And my family was on a trip in Cape May, New Jersey. I mean, Victorian era, a lot of, history. But at that time, I didn't really know. So we were on a trip and we walked by this old building and it was not a storefront or anything. It just had an armoire in the middle of this beautiful glass pane window. And I looked in the window and I saw a reflection of an old librarian looking at me. Have you ever seen Are You Afraid of the Dark, The Quiet Librarian? That's what she looked like.
Show.
Yeah. So her face, she had the brown hair, bun, glasses, and almost like the top of what looks like a judge cape, right? There was no physical body in front of it. It was her reflection, and it wasn't a picture. It was an outline. And I screamed and went, bah! And because at that time I didn't know, right? And I feel like that was when I knew that there was something different about me, but I didn't know what. About a year later, my cat passes away. Same night, hear her meowing. She's already transitioned. I'm like, huh.
What do you mean she transitioned?
She passed away.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she passed away. Not in the house.
She became a werewolf or something.
Yeah, no. She was a Siamese cat. She was so sweet.
Whoa.
Yeah, very special.
Okay. You chose wisely. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
thank
you were 8 years old at
Yeah.
this time with this cat?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Maybe the cat chose you.
Oh, absolutely. And my current cat chose me too, but that's another story.
What kind is it?
He is a gray mackerel tabby.
Okay.
His name is Da Vinci.
Okay, cool. All right, makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, she passed away, and then that night I heard a meow in the hallway, and I'm like, well, we don't have any other cats at this time. She's passed away, and I'm like, told my parents, I said, I heard Sheba crying. Like, she's meowing, and they're like, no, honey, she's gone. And I'm like, okay. You know, as I got older, I went through my own, let's say, experiences with partying and things of that nature. So I feel like I was very closed off in my 20s, wasn't really as in tuned. As I stepped away from the trauma that I explained about before, as I stepped away from like that party scene and things of that nature, and really working on my own healing, that's when everything started to open up for me again, surrounding myself with supportive energy and people, right? So I feel like I would say really within the past, where are we going on, 10, 11 years is really when I've opened up and honed into my ability.
Like took the veil away.
Yeah.
So that's when it happens. And so you go from 8 years old up until 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And did you ever feel like there was any kind of oddness throughout that time?
Oh, all the time. I was always getting hits. I just didn't at the time know how to manage them because my focus was go to school, you know, at that time, work a job and have fun with friends. And I'm going to be honest with that. I don't think I've ever said that in public, really. So, but that's where I was in that timeline. It was going out. It was drinking. It was having fun. It was everything. I didn't have to feel anything. I didn't have to deal with anything.
See, that's part of why I think I did do a lot of I think I have a theory on why I, used drugs or alcohol is because maybe I was feeling these things and I didn't know really how to, I didn't want to feel them or I didn't know what to do with them.
For sure.
So it's like, let's numb this.
Yeah.
Let's push this down because I don't like this. Because I don't really, it's chaotic and I don't have an answer for it.
For sure. I mean, now, like, exactly that. I mean, I was going through grief in high school that I didn't even realize I was going through, right? We went through a lot of different changes, like moves, death, all these things happening. So I have the choice to sit in my room alone, or I have a choice to go out and have fun, right?
Yeah.
And drink and laugh and eat, and it's all good. So I chose that at that time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now when did you start calling yourself a witch then? Do you call yourself that, by the way? I shouldn't.
It's so funny. My husband's the one that started calling me that.
Okay, so did you have a title or?
I always said light worker, energy worker.
Better.
Yeah. And then like it's been transmuting more, but like love him, but he goes around, he goes to people, my wife's a witch. I'm like, you can't really start that as like an energy because first off, it's a safety thing. It really is,
a lot
especially.
of people don't like it.
No, I said, you have to realize like that could be opening up for other things. And there's a lot of misconception, as we said before, on what that even means. I mean, I am not a worker of dark arts, but there are some people that are. And that, again, misconception, right? So I'm like, you can't start off conversations like that. To me, I feel like I've always been an energy worker, light worker. Like I said, medium. Even saying medium is very scary for some people. I've had people jump away and I'm like, I'm not reading you. Like, don't worry. But they might have had experiences that are traumatizing with that, right? So we don't really know. Everybody's a walking storybook. Everybody has so many experiences. So one word can,
Oh, I think people are the greatest source of information.
Oh, for sure.
They're so much fun.
For sure.
Yeah, I could read a book, but doing this, so much more fun to get the information
I'm having a great time.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, then what's the difference between a witch and a Wiccan?
So, Wiccan is not, oh my gosh, I'm probably going to get like, for this. People say Wiccan and Wicca, it only means that it's a male or female witch.
Oh, wait, what? So witch, female, Wiccan, man?
Mm-hmm. So
Oh,
it's
I didn't
just
know.
another word for it.
Oh, I've heard females call themselves Wiccans.
Yeah, and I've actually studied with one of the witches in Salem too, and she talks about this and has mentioned that it's not necessarily a religion, it's just saying female or male witch. Now, again, I'm going to preface different schools of thought. If people feel like that's their connection, I'm not going to say no. It's
Yeah.
just what, I've experienced, my knowledge, and that's what I'm going to say on that. So,
You mentioned you just said you worked with someone in Salem. I've heard that there are, let's just put like Stonehenge, for example, Salem, for example, different energy points on this earth that you're going to feel it a little bit more, that let's just say your powers or your gifts are going to be lifted a little bit while you're in these areas. Is this
100%. Same with my husband. There is a specific space. I won't go too far into that, but in the burying ground where he feels so connected every time we go there, he's like, I can't move my feet. He's like, I'm earthing. I can feel it. Like, I feel connected here. And it's the same with me. We both feel such a powerful connection. We got married in Salem.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we actually, this is a good story.
Please.
We stayed in one of the haunted suites, and that was just by chance.
Use the word haunted. Are you okay with the word haunted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, doesn't bother me.
All right, so you stayed in one of these suites.
Yeah.
If you can experience these things, what did you experience?
So it was our wedding morning, and it was about 3:30 a.m. I remember because I looked at the clock.
Oof, that's a time.
Yeah, right? So
Yeah.
I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I look down because I feel something on my knee. Mind you, it's a honeymoon suite, so he's in the other room. I'm not, we're not together here at this point. And I see the sheet go, and I went, all right, I'm going back to bed because I was just like, you know what? It's my wedding morning, not doing this, not doing it.
It's my day off.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, the way it felt like it was a child. So I went, okay. The next morning comes, there is a knock on our door. And it sounds like, if you look at the door, it's like mid of the door where you hear the knock. Not like where an adult would knock, a child.
Oh, okay.
And we open the door. There's no one in the hallway. It's silent. There was nobody there. We had the do not disturb sign on. I'm like, okay. Then we open up the closet door and it smells like smoke. And we're like, what is that? Like cigar smoke. Interesting. Close the door. Later on, we find out that the room that we were in, there is a child that frequents it, and it will play tricks on its guests, including pulling the sheets. And I went, okay.
How does that make you feel?
It was cool. I was like, what a wedding gift. I'm like, that's great. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah.
I mean, do you experience anything else there, though, when you're in Salem? Because, I mean, it seems like there was a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
I mean, witch trial. If you're walking through the one, I mean, do you ever feel alone? Can you ever sit in a room by yourself and feel like you're truly alone, or there's always like some kind of spirit or something like that around you?
I feel like there's always spirits around, but I will be honest, I'm very intentional with not channeling in the sense of like taking things on, because I do my best to be present. So I'll do some like protective work before I go there, because usually when we're there, it's for our enjoyment. It's very special to us. So I do my best not to. But I mean, of course, there's always going to be energies.
I mean, if we bring up M. Night Shyamalan,
yeah,
the movie Sixth Sense, filmed in Philadelphia.
Just watched it again last week.
No way,
Interesting that you brought that up. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I see the Haley Joel Osment around you.
Oh yeah, there you go.
But no, it's to me you sound like Haley Joel Osment in a way where he's walking around and he like that scene where he's kind of talking to his mother and he's like, "There's people." And I think he's like in this school and there's people hanging in the hallway or something. But because I haven't watched that in a while, but I remember one of the scenes where it seems like he's never alone. Oh, there's many scenes. It seems like, if I remember, he's sitting there and someone will just be sitting there. Someone will be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So, like he's never alone. Do you see it in such a physical form like he did in that movie? Or do you just kind of know it's there and you don't actually see it?
I feel, well, I mean, of course, there's like a Hollywood aspect to all
Yeah,
of that, right? But sometimes it comes through as a form of energy. Other times I can see it as almost like an outline. Other times it's a sense of just feeling or knowing. But I've worked really hard, and I continue to work on this because it's not perfect by any means. It never will be, is to set energetic boundaries around myself, because you cannot be channeling and be in the ethers all the time. It's not healthy. And that's something I've learned over my progression of just my practice and my gifts is I have to say, okay, between this time and this time, like bedtime, for example, like this is my sleep. So no visitations, no waking me up, like go to the 4 pillars. I use the 4 pillars as like kind of a source or representing to the angels, go to that white light. You know, I have to set boundaries. That's really big for me.
Never really thought like
Yeah. I mean,
because
yeah.
like to me it's that darkness comes in like yeah like you ever feel like something's playing a trick on you and trying to get in? You know what I mean? Like it's appearing as something that could be kind or light, and you're like, ooh, that's like it's wearing a mask.
Um, the recently at one of the I don't know if this was brought up when Emma was here during oh no, I think she saw you before our investigation. I'm not sure how much I can say, but something felt very kind, and then all of a sudden I passed out and fell over, and 2 of the team members had to catch me. And that was a lot to process. I don't know if they were trying to get my attention, but I will tell you I never had an experience like that. That was probably the only time I felt a little shooken up. The fact that I was like, you need to catch me, and then it just boom. And that was recent. It wasn't that long ago.
Well,
So
how did you feel after that? You wake up and you feel like it's now with you?
I didn't feel that way.
So what was its purpose? Why would it do that?
Well, think about it. Conduit of energy, if they're trying to communicate something, it's just like a battery, right? They're using up your energy to communicate. And after that, I was getting so many hits and messages and things were coming through. You probably could see like the bells that they have were going off during this too. So I feel like it was a conduit of me having that energy, and they were showing me we're going to use you to communicate and talk.
What do you call your source then? You just call it the angels?
I say it's the angels, white light, gold light. Those are pretty much like my connections.
If symbology is big, and let's just say somewhat of what you do, that number 7 you mentioned, do you hold anything to that number? Or is that just because that number, reigns supreme in a lot of things?
For me, not specifically. I actually am more tied to the number 8. And it's interesting. I've always felt connected to 8. And of course, it's the infinity symbol.
For sure.
So 8's always been my number.
All right. 8's always been my number too. I love that number.
Nice.
Because I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm tied to it or if I just like that number because it is the infinity symbol.
I always felt like for me, it was just, not to sound cheesy, but like this kind of prosperity or like, I don't know, just this really exciting energy for me. I always just feel like when I hear 8, I get excited. So I just feel so connected to it. I've always felt connected to it as a kid and even as an adult today. So yeah.
When you're doing these things, by the way, too, it's you're going to be meeting other individuals like yourself, right? Have you ever met other individuals that you look at them and you go, no, they are channeling something wrong. They are channeling, there is a different source energy in them that you're like, that's maybe demonic.
I would say darker. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I've had an experience before where I had an interaction with somebody and she goes, "Oh, I do the same thing as you." And my whole body just went like this. This was years ago. I just felt like this. And I said, "Yeah, but I don't feel like it's for the highest good."
Have you seen that TV show Evil?
I have not.
Do you know what it is?
No.
No, it's you might like it because this is where there is an individual who works for the church. He's trying to study to be a priest, and he has this gift. And then with him is a guy who he works in like IT and such, and he's supposed to, and then there was another woman who's a lawyer, and they go on these calls. They call the Catholic Church, and when they show up, the priest is supposed to try to see if it's an exorcism or not that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
The IT guy is supposed to prove it wrong. And they're all friends, right? They're not trying to like battle against each other.
Right.
And then the lawyer there just makes sure everything goes well. But she also, you know, plays a different role as well. But when they get there, he is seen if there is some kind of possession or some kind of attachment that's on these individuals. And then the IT guy can be like, oh no, you have like a lot of corrosion in your pipes and that's what's causing the craziness, right?
Right.
But every episode pretty much ends with both. Like, yes, we kind of proved that it could be this, but there's demons all the time in the show that I had to stop watching it because I was feeling a certain type of way. I honestly it was making me feel like I shouldn't be watching it.
I understand that. I feel like that with certain shows too, like true crime or even sometimes too much paranormal or things of that nature, because I could feel you're definitely sensitive to energy too. And it's true, we absorb it and it starts to kind of get into our psyche. Can I have consent to share something? Is that okay? I always ask because I don't want to just be like, boom. I feel like you have a past life too in Revolutionary War. I saw that American flag again. The entire time you were talking, I kept hearing flautist in my ear, like the flute and Revolutionary War.
Well, I do Revolutionary War reenactments.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I row Washington across the river every Christmas Day. And my father does too. So, yeah. But now, do you think that's because I do it now or because
No, I think there's a connection because I kept hearing past life. That's why I kept staring at you. I'm like, I'm listening, but I'm like, I can also see it. And I can hear the flautist revolutionary.
Like the fife and drums?
And yes. And they kept saying too, like going through, I'm going to say it in this way. It's almost like the war that you were in back then. It's like you're closing threads in this lifetime. Like it's like a different type of war. Does that make sense?
What war would it be?
Well, it's the inner war that you experienced that you've healed. And that you're healing. It just comes through in a different way. Does
like
that make sense?
Well, let's make it make sense.
Yeah.
Like, let's, So whatever this individual, let's just say past life of Revolutionary War, he was going through something?
So it's like the physical war that he went through in that revolutionary time. And I feel like there's a residual energy now that came through. Like we've talked about addiction. I feel like it's a different type of war, like overcoming. I feel like there's something connected. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just...
Is it the British's fault again?
Stop it.
I'm just kidding. I mean, I drink a lot of tea, so...
Cheers.
No, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Though. I appreciate you being open to receiving. Like I said, consent's big, too. I just don't want to be throwing out messages and like, hey, because, you know, it's...
Well, I believe in all this.
No, I know.
And I'm not afraid of it, in a way. You know what I mean? Where
I know.
Some people don't want to know. I mean, there's definitely things I don't want to know, but if it can help me in any way, why not know about it? And it's kind of cool to me. I think it's a lot of what maybe I used to fear or what other people fear is it's interesting to me. Like, cool, like what else can I know about myself or where's this energy coming from? Or because I do believe like if you know, go to Einstein, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, then when we pass away, where are we? You know, where do we go and now are we the entity that now we got to find another one to enter, you know? And for some reason, our memory is kind of wiped clean, but some of the emotion is attached to it still, you know? So like, who am I? Right. And we're always trying to figure that out instead of just saying, I am me. Right?
Yes.
For somebody, but we're still always searching, going, who am I? Where am I from? Why am I here? I feel out of place. I don't understand. And it just seems like there's no one. So I don't know. I like it in this way. Like I'll always find this interesting. Yeah.
For sure. I still can't get over that you do reenactments. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh.
You know what's cool too is I'm considered a Marbleheader.
Oh.
Marblehead is just south of Salem. So
yeah, that's right. It is.
Salem's a cool town. Have you ever been to Marblehead?
I have yet. I've been to Gloucester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marblehead is an insane place to go. It's really cool. But yeah, I don't know that to me is not crazy. You know, but I mean, what other I always had, so I did do somewhat of a past life regression with someone once, and what was brought up was I was possibly Russian.
Okay.
And that went all the way back, and that wasn't a very happy story. And I don't like this one. I even feel a little eeriness when I talk about it. But I'm standing, it's cold, with like a trench coat over like a fire in a trash can.
This sounds familiar. Did you mention this
yeah,
somewhere?
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
And that's one of the ones that I have, but I haven't really gone too much into it other than that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But then for me, if I do believe I have these abilities, like, what is my purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if I have these abilities. I definitely feel a little bit different. Or I know when I'm speaking to someone, I can kind of gauge what's going on. Or I can kind of see if they have like where they're at.
Yeah.
I can feel like their battery. I think I mentioned that with Emma too. Like I can feel their battery a little bit. So like, what do I do with it then? Maybe I do nothing. Maybe I just do this.
I was going to say, it's your intention. What would you like to do with it? Like you said, this is so healing, I feel like, for so many.
Oh, I'll say when people leave here, usually they take the headphones off and go, oh, I felt like therapy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, for me too, you know?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know who the therapist was,
Yeah.
but it feels good. Yeah, but that's also like a gift we were talking about earlier, like the gift of communication we have kind of lost, you know?
Yes.
And now it's like, now this is, but yours is definitely a gift of communication as well, though. You're just not you're maybe communicating with something else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. But again, I've really worked on being able to set boundaries around that, because there has to be, in a sense, of detachment. You cannot be in the ethers all the time and connected. So, yes.
So where are your beliefs then on, I know I feel like I've tried to mention this a few times, but like the occult, right? The occult, like there seems to be, and I really think COVID kind of kickstarted this when everyone was sitting at home looking up conspiracy videos.
Yeah.
It seems like there's some kind of like dark occult out there that they're accessing the same energy. Well, they're accessing energy. It's not the same one that you are, I don't think, at all.
No.
But it seems like it's feeding off of something that doesn't usually have a good ending.
No, and I really try to keep myself away from those things. Like because I'm an energy absorber, just like we were saying before, like watching things that are a bit darker. I try to keep my distance. I mean, it's good to know what's going on in the world, but
yeah.
Yeah, even just like sitting here, I'm like, yeah.
I mean, maybe, I don't know if I feel so comfortable sharing some of my experiences in the dark underbelly of the world that I found myself in when I was in addition. But if I want to say that I experienced what is a darkness that, I mean, I'll even share. I found myself down a dark path that I was around a lot of individuals that were struggling. Let's say that. I'm not going to call them bad people or anything. I think they were just really struggling. And I was too at the time. But man, if I do have this gift, being around that type of dark energy all the time, it was, they're struggling with addiction. They're struggling with, things that you do for addiction that you later regret, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people regret, especially women and, then men as well. But being around it was like this. If I could see what I didn't really see it, I could just feel it. Just this, like sea of dark energy, just almost as if, like, you remember the Dementors from Harry Potter?
Oh, yeah.
It was just like woof, woof, passing through and just feeding off these people's energy. And they didn't really want to be doing what they were doing.
Of course.
But they would put it under the umbrella of like, I have to do it for money. I have to do it for my addiction. I have to do it. It was like, I have to do it for these things.
Yeah.
And that was terrifying. And then getting away from that was, to like flush out that energy. I don't even know if I've completely done it yet. Well, I think I kind of have actually really worked on it.
Yeah.
If I believe I've pushed myself towards a light, right? So I guess that's kind of helped in the flushing of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is just so that's why I feel like I couldn't watch that show either, because I was watching just being like, oh my God, these attachments are real.
Yeah, and you could like feel it in your body.
Oh, I think I got through like maybe 2.5 seasons or something. I was like, I can't watch this anymore. Because there's scenes in that show where there's a nun and she's trying to communicate with these two people struggling in their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this creature that is demonic standing behind them. And she's like, and then she takes the one priest out of the room and says, there's something in the room there with them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what's interfering with their marriage. We like to think it as the exorcism is really, like the darkest part,
I was
right?
just thinking that, yeah.
But this,
Mm-hmm.
it goes down to the simplest form, and just interfering with your relationship. It's like, why are we fighting?
Yep.
Why
Yep.
are we doing this? And I try to then channel like a source of light going like, well, maybe if we bring it back to God or we bring it back to a higher power, let's start there, where people don't really go for that anymore. At least not enough.
Not enough, exactly that. It's more of the why, and then rather, like you said, the searching or going back to
Yeah.
that energy and that element. You mentioned, that's interesting that you mentioned the marriage being impacted and such, because I saw that happen in real time with my parents' old house in the Poconos. And we found out that there was ancient burial grounds, apparently, all through this area, and appliances breaking, religious statues breaking of my father's, constant arguing and stuff. So yeah.
I mean, that's like a thing where
Yeah.
we never fought till we moved here.
Yeah.
Like you've heard little things like that. We didn't
Yeah.
do this till this object entered our home. Like, do you believe in those? Emma's mentioned some of those where like an object can have like an attachment to it. But you even mentioned the cat.
Yeah.
Where I don't remember the term that she used for it, but like a piece of wood can absorb that energy. Then all of a sudden you're hearing a little bit of, grandma's laughter as you walk by it.
Absolutely. It's like a psychometry, basically, like object reading in a sense.
Why are they like?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You don't have to be this living physical human being or animal or anything like that for this energy to attach to it.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
That kind of blows my mind too then. So like
Yeah.
wood can absorb it. Are things more absorbent than others?
I mean, wood is definitely very absorbent. Brick, not as much. But metal, huge conductor. Water, huge conductor of
Water.
energy. Oh, yeah.
Water's simple to me. I can understand that just because I've seen those experiments with water where you speak good intentions and you speak bad intentions. You both freeze them. The good intentions won this beautiful crystal where the dark one is, the one you spoke bad to is these, misformed crystals.
I mean, even if you think about it, like trees. I don't know if you've heard in New Jersey they call it the devil tree.
No.
And yeah, that's what they call it. But there is this folklore that a witch in the 1800s, I hope I got that date right, but don't quote me on the date, was hung from this one piece of this tree. And what they did was so many people were flocking to this space and people were touching it and reportedly having issues after they touched it, that they put all fencing around the actual trunk so you can't touch it.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like, would you consider yourself an exorcist or something like that?
Oh, gosh, no.
Okay.
No.
See, that just like I like that answer because just because you may have this gift doesn't mean you have to go down every avenue.
Oh, gosh, no, not at all.
That's
My
fine.
intentions are really to help people with healing grief, healing the
cool.
communications around their departed loved ones. That's really where my purpose is and the heart is, just so they know that their loved ones are with them, that they're safe, they're communicating, they're showing them signs, right? Things of that nature. I'm really just the conduit to get messages across with the intentions of finding healing, finding hope, finding, maybe some sort of completion or, healing around the grief. That's really where my heart is.
That is so nice. And I've been trying to think about how this conversation was going to go. And my mind still goes to that, the label that I may have put on you was not that. Which is fantastic.
Well,
I love
thanks,
this
yeah.
actually. That this is more angelic than it is demonic.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm
because like, if we do, I mean, the source energy, if you want to say like Jesus or anyone like that kind of had, I mean, it seems like it was similar to what you're doing, just more of a light.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't flow into that dark energy. That's just not me. And like I said, again, being protective, my intention here, anybody that works with me, and this is the one thing I'm like, oh, my heart gets so happy. I love when people are like, I just feel safe with you. And I'm like, yes, because that's what it is as far as what I put out into this earth and into the element and the energy, people feeling seen, people feeling safe, and individuals feeling like when we do somatic, like they don't have to carry the shit anymore. They can work through it. And like I don't know, that's just my heart. So
How does your process work? So you sit down with someone and you like, is it in a group of sessions?
yeah, so usually I allow people to kind of pick and choose how they want to show up. Some people just want to come for one experience and see how it goes, but consistency is key as far as our healing. But I always do kind of an evaluation where we talk about the different facets and areas of life where they're thriving, where they feel like they're maybe struggling, or where the shadows lie, and then just depending upon what area of support that they need. For some, it's boundaries. For some, it's working through family trauma. For some, it's working through grief. Grief is like a really big one that I work with too. And I like to talk about this too. I'm very big on grief is not just people transitioning or passing away. Grief could be grieving old versions of ourselves or past lives of ourselves. Grieving could be something medically that has impacted us, that we function in a different way in day to day. Grief could feel like we're lost and we don't really know who we are anymore. Like we said before, like, what's my purpose? What's my mission? Why am I here? Grief can be going through, in a sense, maybe a career change. Many of us were conditioned to, we work. We're the business people, or we're this, right? And it's like, if you really pull away all those layers and like go to your true identity, who are you? Because a lot of this stuff is just labels,
Somebody else's constructs too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this is what it's almost like our life is planned out immediately.
Mm-hmm.
You can take it's almost like you can take 3 paths. It's like you could be blue collar, white collar, or go to jail. Like it almost sounds like that.
Yeah.
It like feels like that these days. Where it's like, what about me?
I know.
What about me, man? Like I just
yeah. Like 9 to 5. Ugh.
Yeah.
Or I've done that.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't like it.
Yeah. I used to do non-clinical social work, and it's hard.
Like you were a 9 to 5 doula?
Like 9 to 5 care manager. Yeah. So like working with like community-based supports and kind of being part of the care team. So, if there's like an IOP or if there is a residential care, for the kid, we would help communicate and, really facilitate making sure everyone's, functioning and doing what they need to do to support the child and the family. And then finding community-based supports, because eventually, you really want to find sustainability for the child, for the family dynamics, and really that comes back to community-based supports. So lowest level of care, but, there's a ladder.
How long did you do that for?
That specific role was 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You ever experience anything wild with these individuals? Like, okay, if you can see these attachments, you ever look at them and go, oh, you need to get rid of this one. You need to, or maybe, can you ever get rid of them, by the way?
Yeah, through like energy cord cutting.
Okay,
you can.
cord, okay.
Yeah, cord cutting.
Oh.
I feel questions coming.
No, I just, I had a buddy who reached out to one of my friends who she believed she was an energy worker, and I don't know, maybe she is.
Yeah.
But that was his thing. He said, I need to cut this cord with an ex-girlfriend. I cannot move on unless, and I don't know if that's cutting a cord with his ex-girlfriend or whatever attachment she had to him. Like, I don't know.
Both. It can be both. Think about spiritual cords. They're attached to people, places, experiences, storylines. So anything that's kind of sticking, you can cut the cord. And it could be a physical, like, disbursement. It could be emotional. It's so layered.
Can anyone place a cord on you purposefully?
Ugh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they know what they're doing.
I mean, is it possible? Yeah. Ugh.
Like, because there's those things where people will be like, oh, they touch their hair. Or they, you know what I mean? Where like they grab some of their energy from them. Or like they'll graze their hand along you a certain way to try to pick up your energy a little bit, and then like it's almost as if they're attaching to you human to human.
I'm sure they can, but I don't know. That is not my thing. So I'm just like, ugh.
Maybe I watch too many videos.
But you know what it is? I feel like, too, with energy in general, a lot of times, too, it manifests within us. We don't have to believe just because somebody says, oh, I'm going to do this. It's like, you don't have to accept that energy. I don't know. That's just me.
That's a problem too. I think
I
people
know.
accept too easily with it.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. And people do need to understand, like, especially with this kind of energies. I
Yeah.
don't have to do that right now, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is, there's jealousy, there's envy. There's a lot of energy out there that people can shoot to me, shoot to you, and we don't have to accept that.
Well, I don't have to
Nope.
mirror it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's one thing that I think I've done a very good job of working on is I don't have to mirror your energy. I don't have to match your energy. And I think a lot of people don't even know that they're trying to put out the energy because they want you to mirror it, so then they can be in a little bit more control.
Yeah.
Where I think if people just mirrored less, it'd be really good. Like, he's really good at not mirroring. Matt, the
Yeah.
guy, he's very good at doing it. And it's like, so I've talked about this before, where he's very like type B, I'm very type A.
Mm-hmm.
And so like my energy, I'm go all the time, or he's very calm and laid back. So I kind of try to grab some of that from him to be like, hey, let me learn from you a little bit. Because there's times where I've noticed myself working on my mirroring because he won't mirror me.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I picked up on it being like, oh, I've tried to I didn't notice I was doing it as much
Yeah.
until he was almost like breaking down my barriers a little bit in a way I'd gone. And he's like, my best friend pretty much at this point. And it's like, I'm going, oh, wow, he doesn't have to do it. I don't have to do it. It's like I learned that from him.
That's some cool harmonization there, too.
Oh, isn't it great?
Yeah.
And now I can do it in just because someone's pissed off or chaotic or a lot of people's responses these days are to kind of match that chaos and pissed off. And then I go, all right.
Yeah.
It's just, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
For sure.
Because people put out energy, right?
Oh, yeah.
And people usually pick up what you're putting down. And
That's true.
I try not to pick it up. I try to keep it down. Just go, okay.
That's not
because
my bag.
I don't always like that. I don't want your energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it is nice to. And sometimes I look at other people and I go, ooh, I don't even think they know what they're doing. That one's a scary one. Like,
so true.
Where's that coming from? You got something inside you. You need to work on a little bit. And it's usually, that's where I lay it all back to some kind of attachment.
Mm-hmm.
I always go here because I feel like it's never in front of me.
Oh, yeah. You can feel it, but you don't necessarily see it. I get that. Mm-hmm.
I look at some people, and there's people in my life, friends, family, that I look at that, loved ones, and I go, if you could just deal with that type of energy, that attachment on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this actually reminds me of some of the Emma videos that I've put up. I had this, and I talk about some of these attachments. This person reached out, where he kept commenting on the Instagram going, you have a demonic possession, you have this thing on you, you have this. And I was just, he's like, call me. And he was actually a guy I lived in a halfway house with in Florida.
Wow.
And I was like, hey, stop commenting this stuff. Like, this looks bad. But I call him and he goes, no, look, you have the same thing that I had. And I met this woman, and I think he's dating her now, but I met this woman, and she helped him get rid of these things and these attachments on him, where it's like generational attachments.
Right.
That it's actually the alcoholism that he was experiencing was passed down to him through, the grandfather, the great grandfather, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I feel completely different. So, like, okay, even you coming on here, if I were to set up sessions with you, there is healing that I know that I can't do through therapy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's healing that I know I can't do through meditation, or maybe I can, but then again, maybe setting up sessions with you would be just an experience, if anything, or an acknowledgement of what maybe is.
Yes.
It's
a guide.
You said you've seen things around me.
Oh, well, yeah.
Any bad?
Honestly, no.
Well, that's pretty good. I like that.
That's why I said to you, I see like the past lives. I personally, I'm just going to be honest with you. You have a very autumny color type of aura. So it's red, orange, and yellow.
Oh, nice.
And that's a good thing because it's all about like self-confidence. It's about ambition, like the fire in you. I see a lot of passion in you. And I think that's where the auric piece is coming in, is like you're a very passionate energy in person. So I never say it's good or bad, it's negative or positive. I mean, it's, it just is,
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Sometimes things just are, but there's nothing, I'm going to say, bad around you as far as that.
I think what I'd want to work on is if because you mentioned red and you
Yeah.
said red around here, and that's
Yeah.
usually like the is that the sacral chakra?
So that's the root.
That's the root chakra, right? That's going to
Yeah.
be red around here,
Yep.
right? Purple is going to be a little bit more up here,
Yep.
right? Yellow
Yep.
is red around here.
Yeah, around the solar plexus. Yep.
So if anything that I'd want to work on is more like the breakage up of the, like if there is a little muck, if you called it trash earlier, like if there is the muck, because there is a feeling when I feel very good that there is a flow of energy, right?
Yep.
And there is that goodness that goes through. If there is anything that I feel like I could break up so it could pass on, like if there's a kidney stone in there and it needs to go.
Yeah, there you go.
A kidney stone of energy and needs to get out. Like that's what I'd want to work on.
I love that.
Yes.
See, so it shows exactly what your aura is presenting and what you're saying you want to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that is. Maybe there could be a blockage.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I really did not expect this to be the conversation. I think I've tried to gear it too many times towards like the darkness of it, because that's what I really had to, like when I hear witch, I hear broomstick, I hear where's that energy come from? It's like, oh man.
I'm really glad that it went in the direction it was meant to go, because like you said, the misconceptions, because honestly, I feel like I'm definitely like very like, woo, like you saw me before. I'm like, like that's, the darkness is just not my energy and
there's always that apprehension. Like there was a little bit of a fear, because I do believe that I pick up on others' energy. There was a little of a fear of going, oh my goodness, what if I bring this person on and now that energy's around me? But now the opposite have happened, that it's like, oh, this is good energy. Now I want this around me. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it is. Thank you.
Yeah, because there are those people that you pass through, especially in the areas of life that I've gone.
Yeah.
You walk into a bar. You walk into a let's just say a hole-in-the-wall one, too, especially. That is like a den of just attachments that can go boom, 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 jump around people to people. You know what I mean? And they're usually very dark.
Oh, yeah.
And they're usually opening up that spiritual path with, some kind of alcohol or drug.
Yeah.
And I do believe that once you put something in there, it opens it up. Like, everyone knows this now, the word spirits.
Yeah.
Right? And you drink them and you're allowing it in.
Yes, exactly that. The channel is open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit, yeah. I mean, so where does it go from here? Where do you, you have a few events coming up, don't you?
Yeah, what do I have going on? I feel like there's so much happening right now, because it's like, definitely an expansive time. Trying to think, at my space, I actually do have a energy healing and tarot integration, and it's about emotional release. So I actually presented this back in Salem in July, but it's more expansive of how you can work with your cards as far as helping healing for emotional release, not using it as a predictive tool.
Go into this. I want to know more about tarot. This is one that I want to touch on.
Because the thing is when we think of tarot, because it dates all the way back to the 1300s, right? When we think of parlor games and how it was utilized through the 52, card decks and the suits and everything of that nature, it's more of like trickery, how they presented it, or it's a parlor trick, right? I utilize tarot as a guidance tool to help with emotional healing, release, as we said, and how can we come up with action steps based off of what you're going through right now? Like if you sit down with me, I don't like doing predictive tarot. It's really not.
What is predictive tarot?
Past, present, future.
It's when they're laying the cards out.
Yeah, because my things are, there's discernment, And your paths can change and things can happen where that might not even be the outcome, or it could be the outcome, but it's at a different timeline. I feel like tarot is a really great tool for maybe, let's say, you're working on, I talked about shadow work before, right? So maybe you're working on, in a sense, how are you working on self-confidence right now? You might have some cards that come up that you can see there's maybe some destruction, the way that you talk to yourself, right? Deprivation, things of like that. How you show up for yourself might come through. So we kind of read the cards and see where the struggle or the challenge is, and then we come up with, in a sense, some strategy or solution or one action step, right, that can help towards that healing. So I teach people different strategies and healing tools with tarot. So there's like emotional freedom technique. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. Okay, so essentially emotional freedom technique goes back to somatic healing. Our body carries. Our words carry. So we're using the 2 fingers here and we're tapping different emotional points in the body. And then what we're going to do is we're going to couple it with, I might be feeling this way, but I truly love and accept myself. So even though I'm anxious and overwhelmed, I truly love and accept myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move through those parts. So I'm going to be teaching, in a sense, how can we use that as a tool with tarot to help with that healing. Hope that makes sense. But like, yeah.
Sounds positive.
Yeah.
The thing with tarot, though, it just seems like such a game of chance.
I get that.
And so when you're doing this, is your belief with tarot saying the card that was meant to be played, I don't know if played is the right word, but the card that is about to be laid is whatever is supposed to be laid.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where...
Think of, you said mirror before, and we talk about that too. Sometimes there is a mirror in the cards that some of us don't want to see. Sometimes it's an unconscious message that's going to be brought to the subconscious too, right?
I don't even know what these cards mean now.
Oh, it's a whole thing. It's a whole, like, teaching experience.
But, like,
yeah.
where does, like, the 7 swords or whatever this... I don't know if that's a card. Is that a card?
Yeah, 7 of swords, yeah.
Like, where does that even... Who made these cards in the first place?
So, Rider-Waite, you might hear that's, like, the OG tarot deck, the Rider-Waite tarot deck. And now there's 1,000,001 tarot decks. I mean, there's cat tarot, there's crystal tarot, there's all different ones. But if you are... setting an intention to become familiar, always go with Rider-Waite. I think that's the most important. Once you kind of understand not necessarily the artwork, but the symbolism within that artwork and what that means. So it's kind of, again, a whole art. Don't read the book that it comes with. The reason I say that is a subjective point of view. If you're really truly trying to learn and trust your intuition, you'll put that book aside, right? Because what happens is we pull a card and then you're like, okay, so what did that say on page 73? I can't remember. Right? And then
don't you want to know the meaning behind the 7 of swords?
Well, of course, but it's how you interpret it.
Well, like, how am I supposed to, if a 7 of swords is laying in front of me, how am I supposed to interpret it?
Can I pull out my tarot deck?
Let's do it.
Fantastic.
Let's do it.
I'm like, I brought that today.
Yeah. I was actually going to text you and ask you to bring them because
great.
There's a lot of, superstition and woo-woo behind a deck of tarots. And I've watched, I had next, I watched, every day she'd put on a YouTube channel and they'd lay the cards out for people. And
I love it.
And then there was also, like the astrology and such that was attached to it as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. There's so much. If I'm being honest, there's just so much information out there. And one thing I'm going to say is when you're in your practice or when you're setting your intentions, like, just trust yourself. I feel like that's the big thing. Like, I like to empower people to trust themselves. There's really no necessarily right or wrong in this. It's about the intention. And I'm sure that's like...
I think it should be more about what your intention is, though, too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I mean? It's about the intention. Yeah.
I want to make sure the individual playing the tarot
the
tarot card has an intention.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about if you're practicing. Like, if you were to see,
Well, my intention would be, I don't know. My intention 5 years ago is going to be different than what my intention is today, I
say that to my clients all the time. I'm like, where you were
a month ago. Are we about to do a tarot reading?
Well, I'm going to do a pull, and I'm going to show you my interpretation. So, okay.
Is it the 7 of Swords?
It's actually a 5 of Swords.
Oh, okay.
But I love that. Okay. So I'm going to show you my interpretation and how I see this. So when I'm looking at the Five of Swords, I'm always drawn to this gentleman's smirk. So what this shows me is that there might have been some form of deception that's happened within a relationship, and this is the choosing to walk away. I feel like when we look at this too, the swords, notice how these are in surrender and this one still has a loose grip on it. So what is it that you're choosing to walk away from or choosing to surrender? This can even be what we've been talking about as far as addiction, like putting the sword down. We're not feeding into that anymore, right? This could also mean a relationship with another person, somebody that you've been connected to that maybe has been deceptive, who hasn't been necessarily, I keep getting the word like wolf in sheep's clothing is how I'm going to say it too. Maybe they present it in one way, but then the truth is they're in a completely different space and you chose to put that sword down. And I'm also going to say too, when you look at the clouds, there's almost this sense of storm and chaos energy, but putting the sword down, notice how the sky is starting to clear. So it's almost like making that decision is clearing out that storm. That's how I'm going to say it. That's how I'm reading it right now, but that could change. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So think about too, when we think about swords, what do swords do? They cut.
Mm-hmm.
So swords can also be cutting off a past belief, a past behavior.
Energy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Something that's been limiting you, mindset. Think of this too. This can also be interpreted old version self, new version self. You're walking into that.
Well, I've definitely been more of in a surrender phase.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like, 'cause you have to surrender to something. Like,
for sure.
Yeah. The more of the letting go and the surrender instead of holding so close. It's been more of these old beliefs, right? These old beliefs that I have to be materialistic this way, or I have to be, I have to have these things so I can have the others.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of letting go a lot of those things. There's a couple that are pretty big that I've been letting go of that it's been very freeing. Like, it just doesn't even.
The word trust, I feel like, is big for you, like trusting it. I don't even want to say trusting the process. I feel like something with trust.
Oh, well, I definitely trust that. Well, okay, that's fine. I definitely trust in a higher power way more than I ever have in my entire life. And that is like throughout my day a lot now. It's whatever happens, I kind of just go,
Yeah.
Where I used to go, no, I got to change it. I got to change it. I got to make sure I do this so this doesn't happen. I almost trust like this conversation came up recently, but death in a way, not for my death, but for others.
Mm-hmm.
So I go, well, I have a trust that it's not the end.
Mm-hmm.
But
the only thing we can control is our breathing and the way we see things and shift it. That's really it.
Yeah. We don't even control breathing.
No, I know.
That's an involuntary thing, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm breathing when I'm sleeping. I'm not controlling that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
I remember that from like science class. It was like, that's an involuntary motion of our body. And then these are like me moving my hands is voluntary.
Yes.
Where the breath isn't. Digestion isn't.
That's true.
Know?
Yeah.
So how does this go? How many cards do you lay out when you play? Is it called playing? Am I saying wrong?
I don't
when
call
you're taroting? Is there?
No, I've heard some people say they like sling the cards, and I'm like,
slinging.
Some people say we'll sling. I don't say that. I usually just say I'm like doing a reading.
Okay. When you're reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you when you get a deck of cards? Well, how long have you had this deck of cards?
This is my OG deck, so like 10 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now, how much energy is in that deck?
Oh, I make sure to clear it and cleanse it every time.
By like putting it in the moon or something?
So that's crystals, but that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. No, so you can actually program your deck each time. So essentially programming it is setting the intention with your hands. You can say, today I just ask for the guides to give us any messages that we need or any, insights that we need. And then every time I'm done with it, I usually use like a Palo Santo, or I'll even do an auric sweep of the cards. Just, I feel like right now too, just kind of clearing out what just came through, what's no longer serving, or even from a person prior maybe I was reading, and do a sweep.
Like you're sweeping out the
old,
last person's energy that was just there. Like, this needs to be fresh.
Correct.
Oh.
It's important.
No, that sounds like it should
Spiritual
be gonna be.
hygiene.
I can see a lot of people just going, oh, putting them back in the, in the box and putting them away and then taking them out. It's like, ooh, is my energy there or somebody else is attached to it?
Mhm. Or if
That would scare me.
Yeah, or even if you do a card pull for yourself, like you don't want to just jump in again. So like this has already been cleansed and cleared. So
I hope so.
no, it has been. I always make sure. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I do it at the end of each time. So
How many cards do you pull when you pull for a reading?
So if you're with me for an hour, it really depends because it's different for everyone.
There's no numerology involved in this.
Not how I practice. I just go with the flow and intention. So if you're asking a question about something, because it depends, I could be talking to someone a half hour about a same area of focus, and then we do a second round.
So it's kind of not up to you.
Nope.
So it's just saying whatever I'm supposed to pull today and that number that's supposed to be
That
pulled,
is correct.
that's what's going to happen.
That is correct.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
not like we're not playing Texas Hold'em. It's not like
No.
pull one out,
No.
flip the other three.
No. Maybe a little go fish. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Uno.
Yeah. So I would just call this like an insight card, what I just did. So if I pulled one card, I call it an insight card pull.
Is the first one normally called that?
That's what I call it. I mean, some people call it insight card. Some people call it souvenir. I mean, there is just so many different things and names now.
What follows after the souvenir? You know what I mean?
Depends. Like for me personally, I'll do sometimes an insight card at the end of a reading because it's almost like, okay, so now this is what we're saying, kind of wrapping up. Makes sense. So it's kind of like, okay, these are the next steps, or like this is the overall theme of what came up, and this is what we're going to continue to work on.
Then do you put them all together and say, now that we've had these 4 cards pulled, do you try to branch them together?
Depends on the person I'm sitting with. Yeah, nothing is ever the same with me because you're a different person than this person, than that person. What they need is different than what you need. So it's never going to look the same. It's the same thing with an energy healing. I'm going to give you this example because this one always sits out. I had a woman years ago come to me for Reiki. She says to me, I have no idea what to expect with you. I said, okay. She had no intentions, no expectations. We went through a Reiki session. She had loved ones that came through. She had vibration. She was feeling all of these things, right? And she was so excited that she came back. But what happened was because she had this experience, now an expectation was set.
Sure.
So now she expected loved ones to come through. She expected all these sensations. She expected all of these things. This time, this experience, there was no messages from loved ones. She didn't feel anything. So she felt defeated. I said, because you came with an expectation now. We're attached, right? We're attached to it should feel like this now, or this should happen. And that language needs to be out of this type of practice because there's no should. It just is coming back to that.
She created a future resentment before even stepping in there.
Right.
If this doesn't happen.
Right.
Then it's,
yeah.
Then why did I come here?
Right.
Yeah.
But the first time was so magical because there was open heart. Open mind, no expectations. I say that every time.
Open heart, open mind, no expectations?
Yeah.
Well, you should do that
Heart.
with life.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But that's a really good test of let's just be present and see. And that's hard because we're, again, storylines. We have expectations. That's human brain. Our human brain wants to know it. And sometimes even saying something and they're hoping you say it the way they want you to say it. And that's hard, too, because it's not.
Oh, they come searching for something.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want you to give the answer again.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from you, though.
It
comes from here.
Right.
Right? It might give you a clue.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what the 5 of Swords is going to do for me later on.
I'm curious to see.
We'll see.
Yes. I'm going to do a little clearing. And again, it's just a little sweep. That's all it is.
You do Reiki as well?
I do. I like Somatic more, and the only reason I say that is Reiki is so beautiful for cleansing and clearing, but it's not as intense as healing the trauma and the deeper levels. It's great for cellular regeneration. It's great for like pulling out.
What about like the Kundalini then?
Oh, yeah, I love that. I like Kundalini, Reiki, and yoga, actually. I'm not trained in yoga, but one of my favorites. Remember, too, you have to think depends on who you're working with, depends on their, experiences, their training, how it's presented. Like I said, I'm tending to lean a little bit more into the somatic work and coupling it with Reiki because I think there's just such a higher power of healing with that coupling.
I've done some Reiki.
Yeah.
It's brought up some oddness.
Yeah.
It really has.
Mm-hmm.
It brought up some, the last time I did Reiki, they said that there was this shield around my heart at the time. And there was just this pain behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to they said we don't know, I would have needed to do a little bit more to get rid. I don't feel like that pain's there anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly I did to get rid of it. I have ideas of what I think I did, but yeah, I do believe in it, and it's something that
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what the definition of Reiki is, but
So it's a Japanese healing technique that is utilized by the energy of hands, and they can be placed physically, but it can also be done distantly. So we're basically the energy conduit, and we're doing like an energy transference in a sense to clear. But you also want to make sure being mindful of energy transference where it's specific light. So like white light, golden light, as we mentioned before. Big thing. This is my personal thing. My stomach is rumbling. Sorry. Catching that on the mic.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, group Reiki, I never touch anyone in a group Reiki session.
That sounds wild. You're gonna do group Reiki?
Yeah, you can do group Reiki, and it's more for how I present it. It's like meditation, and I just use my energy this way to move it. I don't touch anyone because think about it. If you're laying there and let's say you just didn't have a good night's sleep and you're very fatigued and exhausted and
yeah.
I touch you, I'm going to use Emma. Let's say Emma's next to you and then I'm touching you, you're tired and fatigued. I can potentially energy transfer that to her. So now let's say she's feeling anxious. So now I have your energy, her energy, and then the person next to her. So
It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. And
Yeah.
I had an experience where there was a group Kundalini activation happening and they touched every single person and half of the people were like, I didn't like that experience. And I was like, that's why I don't touch people because you don't know who's
I
carrying
don't think
what.
you need to like touch someone even
No.
like if someone doesn't believe in energy, if I put my hand on like within an inch of someone's shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna feel that.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's why distance, like you could be virtual, right? And we could be doing energy. You can feel it. It doesn't always have to be physically in the room with you either.
well, that's why I feel like there's this quantum spider web up there. know? That's where I feel like it is. You can just
I
always
like
pull
that.
out of it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, is there anything else you want to touch on?
I mean, I don't know. Anything else that comes to mind? I feel like we really hit a good
Covered.
array of things.
Yeah, covered a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may have to set up a session with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You
Definitely.
work out of Jersey?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I may
Yeah.
have to set this up. If even that person reaching out to be like, hey, maybe you should see someone about this.
Yeah.
This could be an answer. And I believe in that kind of stuff. We always want like the answer that we're expecting. And then I never get the answer we're expecting, right?
Never. Even today, you even were like, I wasn't expecting this conversation. Heh.
So much better.
Yeah.
I never know
I'm
exactly.
glad.
So like
Yeah.
most of the people I kind of have had a conversation with before, I know, but my job first is just make someone feel comfortable. Right,
Yes.
that's my job. Just make sure they're comfortable enough to be able to speak and talk but yeah, didn't expect this at all. Yeah, so
Fantastic.
I guess thank you
No,
so
that's
much for coming on.
great. Frank, thank you for having
You're
me.
going to see Emma Thursday?
Yeah. Spirit of the Mill. Yep.
Yeah,
I
it was
will
fun.
be
She is the show.
there. Oh, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
I see her in her like ghosty.
It's just who she is.
Yes.
It's like almost kind of like because she's so much expression.
Yes, and just like I said, a ball of sunshine.
Yeah, yeah.
For
It's
sure.
just so like it's funny, like she almost like, when I went on the tour, she scared herself while reading her own like script. Like she's like, and there's a ghost. Oh, and you're like, you just scare yourself, and you wrote it. Like It
That's
cracks me
amazing.
up. Yeah. I think I mean, she's the best part of it. So, and I got to meet you through
Sweet.
this.
Yes, I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Seriously, thank you so much for having me and
I
just creating a space for individuals. Just it feels so safe and inviting. So thank you.
thank you so much. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
for
it.
sure.